was not a sign that I need to get away. I thought it was so interesting. That's not a sign that I need to get away. The second time, and she attempted to do the very thing, that was still not a sign to get away. Many of us are playing in the Samson experience and we don't even realize it. Because the first time I was found with the drugs, I thought that would have been a time for me to get away. The first time I was caught in adultery, I thought that would have been a time for me to get away. When you try to find out where my strength lies and then you try to expose it, I don't even understand how we begin to sit around saints who try to expose our weaknesses all the time. You want to expose my weakness, but you don't want to grant me a solution. That's why I have issues with churches who want to only break you down, but want to bring a word to break you down and tear you down. But no, we don't want to help you get your deliverance. I have issues with these kind of things because you expose a person's weakness, but you won't give them a solution for the weakness you just exposed. I thought it was very interesting because she said, you have done and you have lied to me 3 times. How do you manipulate somebody when you're trying to get to their weakness? And you manipulate them to say, you know, you lied to me. I might be wrong in what I'm about to do to you and what I was trying to do to you. But that one thing you did to me was so unforgivable. Have you ever been in a Samson experience to where something that you did, they don't care what they did. It's all about what you did. If you never did that, I would never have it taken to this extent. The Samson experience. What ends up happening is that I come to find that it was so interesting that Delilah told him, you lied to me. You don't love me because you were lied to me. But yet the whole time she was yet trying to con him. Now, I thought it was very interesting what she was trying to con him for. She was trying to con him for the almighty dollar. I hate to tell you, but it's nothing new what people are trying to do to you. People want to pull you down so that they can get ahead. So what am I telling you? People want to make you lose your job so that they can get your pay. That's right. That's right. The almighty dollar. Now, I hate to tell you that it's nothing new under the sun. Delilah was promised money, and that's what she moved upon. Somebody else saw your paycheck. Nice. I'm sorry. I hate to tell you, the devil prophetic also. That's right. That's right. You think the Lord is the only person who prophesied. The devil was very well an angel, one of the highest angels. Prophetic, a prophetic music ministry. For some people who don't know, there's such things called prophetic music ministries. So that means I can be in music and I can sing, but then a prophetic flow begin to take over. So therefore, the devil is prophetic too. You think just because you didn't physically show them your paycheck stub, they don't know how much you made. You know, if I do a little math, I can tell you the bracket of what you make. If you make $30,000 more than me, I want your job. Thank you, Google. I hate to tell people some things. Some things that are very well beneficial to us can come one of our worst enemies. I thought it was so interesting that Samson, he lied to her the first time. Take 7 greens and you tie them. And you bound me with them. She did it. Samson, the Philistines lay upon. He get up, shake himself off, and we go on. All of this came down to one thing. All they wanted was his hair. I was trying to understand, God, where are you taking me with this? All they wanted from Samson was his hair. They didn't know it, but when they found out, what did they take? His hair. I thought it was so interesting, so I said, God, you got to explain this thing to me. Why is it that they work so hard just for one thing? Just for one thing. Hair represents glory. Hair represents glory. So unconsciously, what they were after was not necessarily his hair, but what was his glory. Where does your glory lie? Does it align in your face? What do your glory align? Of course, we know that glory rests upon us, but how many of your enemies have tried to attack your glory? I thought it was so interesting, so I had to go into more details. Samson was a Nazarite. When you understand a Nazarite is a person who was in a bond covenant. They were basically in a portion of time to where they could not cut their hair because it's a promise, and they basically are in a vow to God. So now I could be in a vow to God for 7 months. That means 7 months as a Nazarite, I cannot cut my hair. My hair grows as long as it will grow, whatever. I can't cut it. Samson was a Nazarite from birth unto death. So therefore, he had this long hair. As you see, it was 7 locks. What ends up happening is that you come to understand that Samson was to deliver the Israelites out of the hands of the Philistines. For the angel of the Lord appeared to Samson's mother and told her that she was going to give birth. And she told him that she's not to eat certain things while she is bearing him. You're not to drink any wine. Remain sober. No wine, no strong drink. You're not to eat this. No unclean things. No nothing. To say just like this. Why? Because it was the glory the angel was trying to protect. There was glory in it. So what ends up happening, I come to find out that you can very well be on the verge of birthing glory and destiny, but yet the angel of the Lord is trying to protect you, but you don't even understand what he's trying to do. God is trying to protect us from some things, but yet we constantly get into our mediocre ways to where we feel comfortable where we're at and don't understand what God is trying to protect us from. Because I come to find out that Samson had many opportunities to get away from Delilah. What am I telling you? That struggle that you're in, you have many opportunities to get away from it. Now, what ends up happening? Are you going to allow the struggle to take you too far and kill you? Or are you going to get out in time? The Samson experience. When you go into the Hebrew word for hair is sayar. It comes from a sense of disembezzling. So when I remove your hair, when I remove your glory, people can really see who you are. Samson was really a normal man, but there was some glory that made him a little supernatural. He had this superpower, but when that glory got removed from him, it really revealed he just like you. Why was you scared of him the whole time? I come to tell you that some of your enemies want to take away your hair, your glory. Why? Because they want to see that you just like anybody else. You fold under pressure. Also, there is another sense of the word, and it is say "are." One is say "ah" and one is say "are." Sa'ar is a primitive root, meaning to storm by implementing to shiver, to fear, to be horribly afraid. So now we come to understand that I'm seeing two perspectives about this hair. The hair can disembowel you, but the hair can make your enemies fear you. Somebody understand this in a moment. Your hair, your glory, people don't understand what it is about you. But if it is taken away from you, you just like any other common vagabond. But if people see your glory, people are afraid and they see the power of God that rests upon you. But they don't realize you button up your pants just like they button up their pants. You button up your shirt just like they button up their shirt. As a matter of fact, you take baths just like they take baths. There's nothing different about you, but I've just got a soft spot in God's heart.
All right.
The problem is that so many of our enemies are so focused on my glory to where they don't realize they got hair on their own head.
All right.
You hating on me for the wrong reasons.
All right.
The problem is that we have too many believers who are hating on you because they see more on you than they see on themselves. You know, it was very interesting. I saw something, and it was very well how women perceive themselves. And this forensic artist, he drew basically based how the woman explained herself. And then they took someone who was close to the woman, and they basically allowed them to describe them, the woman who just previously described herself. And what ended up happening, they put these portraits side by side. He didn't get to see the women or anything. He just went off of what he heard. And what he heard, he began to draw. And what they come to understand is that the women begin to see themselves in such a different light, and so much dark and gloomy, more gloomy than what other people saw them. So therefore, they saw themselves as old and ugly, but other people saw them as young and beautiful.
All right.
What am I telling you? Somebody sees you, but they don't understand. The problem is that they see so much beauty in you, but they only see ugliness in them. So if I could trade my place for your place, I feel like I'll be fulfilled. The problem is that we now have this self-actualization thing to where we want to move and we want to go up the hierarchy to where we feel self-actualized. But the problem is, no matter if I trade positions with you, I'm still going to have mess.
Right.
People don't understand that. So now I would trade my position with you. I don't care if I got to take your husband. I don't care if I got to take your wife. I want them because I see you are so happy. But yet they don't understand that the same happiness that you are entitled to, they got the same glory.
That's right. My God.
The problem is that they are after the wrong thing, as opposed to trying to find out, how did I grow my hair so long? You want to help me cut it off. How did you keep it so managed? But you'd rather cut it off. You know, I found it to be interesting. My wife was telling me something. She says, usually when you go to a beauty salon and other women do your hair, sometimes they try to do some things that are kind of con to where they'll cut your hair because your hair is too pretty. I see that we do that in the church. So what's the problem? I don't understand. If we can't change it in the church, then how can we expect the world to change it themselves?
That's right.
The problem is that we are no longer remaining to be the light of the world because we are constantly falling into the lap of Delilah. Delilah might not be a woman for you, but Delilah might be procrastination. Delilah might be stagnation. Delilah might be bondage. Are you falling into the lap of Delilah? So I had to understand hair a little more because now our eyes are beginning to be open. And hair is any of the numerous fine, usually cylinder, cutaneous filaments growing from the skin of mammals. The same thing I have, you have. The funny thing is I thought this was so funny that we don't understand and we don't know exactly how much hair you have only upon your head. I didn't say over your body. That's too much. Let's just go upon your head. It has been estimated that a human has over 100,000 strands of hair on their head. Well, I come to tell you that if you want a more definitive answer, just see the way God sees you. Because if you turn to Matthew and you go to Matthew 10 and 30, the Bible tells me that Jesus spoke and said that the number of hairs on your head, they are numbered. They're numbered. The Father knows the number of hairs on your head. If you go into Luke, Luke begins to explain to you. He says, if his eyes are on the sparrow, and sparrows are worth much, aren't you worth more than sparrows? Therefore, God takes more accountability towards you than he do for the sparrow. So what am I telling you? That your glory is God's paramount concern. God is more concerned about you flourishing than he is about sending you to hell. Right. Somebody understand that in a moment. The problem is that we're preaching this hell doctrine Correct, hell is real. But let me tell you, God is not trying to send you to hell all the time. I want to tell you that God wants you to come to the light. But the problem is that we try to fearfully make people go and not fear God.
That's right.
I say go.